My name is Jennifer Sanguano. I am with the United Way of Meriden in Wallingford. Thank you for taking the time to be here with us today in this virtual event. It is our first time that we adapt our annual Day of Caring to occur virtually, and we hope everyone participating today enjoys and gets to know more about all these skill trainings that we organized for you. And with that, I would like to introduce you to Martha Coloresi. She is the Literacy Volunteers of Greater New Haven ESOL Program Manager, and she will be introducing now as well all this program for you.
Okay, there I am. Welcome. Good afternoon. Welcome to our virtual Day of Caring presentation. For those of you, maybe one or two, who are not familiar with our year-end celebration, what we do is we invite our students, tutors, members of our communities to a celebration, usually around the middle of June at the Meriden Library. And we hand out copies of our student publication, Hear Our Voices, Essays and Reflections. And we invite some of our student contributors to read their work, introduced by their tutors. This year, unfortunately, the pandemic took away our 2020 year-end celebration, and we thought it was gone for good. But our dear friends at the United Way of Meriden Wallingford wouldn't let this year pass without giving us a chance to demonstrate our own way of empowering the community to live united. And a huge thank you to Maria, Diana, Jenny, Julia, and any of your teammates behind the scenes whose names I don't know, but whose work we appreciate very, very much. I am looking for slides. Slides. There we go. Okay. Next one, please. There he is. Keith French. It's only fitting that we begin our program with Keith French because Keith was our first tutor to take his class virtual via Zoom. Usually he teaches classes at 14 West Main Street here in Meriden, and he has also taught at the Meriden Public Library. And currently he and the two ladies that you're about to meet have their English classes on Saturdays because of the ladies' work schedules. Oh, I should mention too, and it was part of my first slide, the pandemic took its toll on the in-person presence of a number of our tutors and students who might have been here today. But the good news is the reason they're not here is because they are employed. So thanks to the miracles of the recorded word and images, you are still able to hear our voices. And Keith's students are working with him on Saturday because they are employed during the week. And we're able to capture him and them on video, and here they are.
Angela Andrade arrived in America 1 year ago. One of the first things that she did was sign up for an English class. It's my pleasure now to introduce Angela, who will read her story about her childhood in Ecuador.
Hello, my name is Angela Andrade. I live in Meriden. I read my history. My childhood. My childhood was very beautiful. I was born in a town on the coast of Ecuador. I grew up in the countryside with my parents and my two brothers. Every day, my dad cooked tortillas and orange juice for breakfast. My brothers and me walked to the school. My mom cooked a delicious lunch. In the afternoon, after doing homework, we went out to play with my cousins and neighbors. We played with a ball, rope, a bicycle. We enjoyed every minute. In the evening, we had dinner and talked a lot. On weekends, we went to the park, to the river, the zoo, the beach with my family and my cousins. We enjoy family time, and my parents told me that the most important thing is the family. Thank you.
Melita Pilcarema has been my student for 2 years. She's going to read a story that she wrote from the heart about her love for her older sister.
My name is Melida Picorema. I am from Ecuador. This is my story. My sister is like my mother. My sister Zoila is like my mother. She is 13 years old than me. When I was a little girl in Ecuador, my sister took care of me when my mom was working. My sister taught me how to cook and how to behave and respect other people. When she came to the United States, I was worried because when she came here, I missed her. I traveled to the United States and now I see her once in a while where she lives, in New Jersey. And I live here in Connecticut. My sister and my mom were the best thing in my life. Thank you.
That was wonderful. Now I'd like to introduce another one of our very dedicated and versatile tutors, Mr. Bud Seeloff. Works with an advanced group on Zoom and one-on-one by phone with an intermediate student. Now, prior to the pandemic, he was teaching the large group at 14 West Main and the single student at the Wallingford Library. And he's here with us today from beautiful Wallingford to introduce his student, Monica, from the Meriden group, who is also working today, and she's speaking to us via the miracle of voice. Bud, please.
Hey, hello, my name is Bud Seeloff, and my student that will be presenting in a moment is Monica Lopez. Monica comes from the country of Ecuador. I have been working with her for about 2 years and find her to be a very dedicated, hardworking student. She has made enormous progress, not only with literacy volunteers, but just in her day-to-day life. She's working hard to practice her English. Monica is an example of one of the things I really enjoy about working with literacy volunteers, in that it's an opportunity for mutual learning. While the students are learning English and how to present themselves better in English, it gives the tutor the opportunity to learn something from the students, learning about their country, learning about their cultures, and so forth. So it's very much a mutual learning type of experience. Monica's article is about the springtime, and as Martha says, through the magic of electronic audio, we can play her clip now.
The spring. The spring is the most beautiful season of the year. Many people do a lot of outdoor activities like walking, running, playing, gardening, and planting flowers. I enjoy running on West Haven Beach, especially in the afternoon when it is sunny. Also, I see many people walking with their dogs, other people playing soccer, swimming on the beach, and some families have a picnic. I like to plant flowers and tomatoes in the garden, in my yard. This weather is perfect to do gardening in May. I bought different kinds of tomatoes, plants like plum, yellow, cherry, and green tomatoes. Also flowers too. In the winter, some people feel depressed because of sunlight. The days are dark early, and some days it snows a lot. But after spring rain, we can do activities. The rain is good for plants, flowers, and trees. In my opinion, all seasons have advantages, but for me, I love spring. Thank you.
And thank you, Monica and Bud, for all of your good work together. That was great. Our next student, Katya Yekaterina Vasilyevna. She's been a student of Brian and Lori Gray of Wallingford for a couple of years, and she has been working very hard with us to learn better English, as you will hear in a minute. She works in a restaurant in New Haven, and it's the lunch hour, so she's there now. But here's her voice via Groove Music. It's an app I never heard of till now. There's Katya.
Who is important in our lives? A person determines for herself the importance of the people who surround her. We are taught from birth it is our family that you should love and protect. It seems it is already decided for us. Everything is clear. I don't want to offend anyone. I am interested in the moment when you come to the realization that a person is dear to you. You would go through fire and water for him, despite the fact that it can be your friend from school or a brother with who you lived our whole life side by side. Some time ago, I worked with a woman who had a daughter, and she looked happy in her marriage, but did not mean her relationship with her mother and sister. If you look at another example, I have a girlfriend who became like a sister to me. We can fight but always get over disagreements. Our interests, views, living condition all have an impact on our choice. Based on that criteria, we determine for ourselves the importance and the necessity of the people around us. We choose our direction.
That was beautiful. And I think her last sentence bears repeating. Based on what criteria we determine for ourselves the importance and necessity of the people around us, we choose our direction. Very true, Katya. Very true. And now, from the Spanish community of Wallingford, SCOW is Paquita Loor. Her tutor, Mary Lombardi, has been a tutor with us for almost a year. She was part of the January cohort, and she's at work right now, but she has left me the following introduction to this dynamic woman. Paquita has been a pleasure both to teach as well as get to know. She is an extremely motivated student. I don't believe she has missed a class since I started teaching or since I started running that class either. Perfect attendance all the way through. She takes all suggestions for self-learning to heart and has shared her own methods of learning with the other students. She's always looking for ways to practice her English. With my limited Spanish, I'm not always able to get my point across while teaching, and Paquita is always willing to jump in to translate. Paquita.
Hi, my name is Maria Loor Arteaga. I'm from Ecuador. I arrived 9 years ago to Wallingford, Connecticut with my two daughters to start a new life. I was nervous and scared because everything was new to me and my family. I didn't speak or understood the new language. I wasn't familiar with the culture. Now I'm happy and thankful because I have overcome all obstacles during all this time. I've been able to build a beautiful family with my two daughters and my son-in-law. We just bought our house together. I am currently learning English at the Spanish community of Wallingford. My dream for my future is to be able to speak fluently English and start studying a career in college to help others. Everything is possible if you the offer and work on doing what you want to accomplish. If I did it, you can do it. I have been able to communicate with other people in English. I was able to find a new job and make new friends. Thanks to the teacher and volunteer at the library who taught me English.
That's great. And I have to say that one of the two daughters that she references is our very own Jennifer Sanguano, who is running this webinar. Let's just put our hands together for her. I know she can't hear us because we're muted, but actually you can hear it. I know you can. Our next speaker is a tutor, Donna Morundi. She's also one of our versatile tutors who teaches an advanced student one-on-one in Wallingford and a class of survival beginning ladies in Meriden at the library. And not every tutor is willing or able to do that group, but Donna's a grandma. She's no stranger to flashcards. She's taught her grandkids to read, her kids, and she's just a natural with these ladies. This year, all of her students, women, have come from Yemen, Afghanistan, and Mexico. Most of her students don't allow themselves to be recorded because of their faith, but and some of them are technologically challenged, although we are making progress in that area. Donna is here with us in person-ish to remind us that we can all take a lesson from our English language learners in not taking the little things in life for granted. Donna Morundi.
Good afternoon. I'm happy to be able to take a couple of minutes to speak to everyone. I'd like to thank the United Way for contributing to our organization. It's obvious that you see the need in the community for the additional assistance that we do receive. On a personal note, I'd like you to know that many of the individuals that we live and work with in the community are trying very hard to continue their learning, and English is a big part of it. Many, many days, we as natural born Americans take for granted some of the very small things in life. One of my Mexican beginner students has had the gift, if you will, to be able to be active, even though she's a little bit older. And she proceeds to walk a half a mile to Dunkin' Donuts. But her concern was that she was unable to tell the clerk at the counter how she wanted her coffee. So in her learning how to say small black coffee, please, it became a gigantic effort so that she could feel as though they were listening to her and she could certainly communicate. I have had other students who have considered and been very, very pleased to be able to say eggs over easy, because they felt as though when they went to restaurants, they in fact were not able to tell the waitress what they wanted and why. It becomes interesting to watch these people see how small things make a big difference in their life and how they feel accepted by the general public here. Thank you again for your time, and thank you again for certainly the monetary efforts that all of us have the advantage of utilizing. Thanks again.
Thank you, Donna. I know you've heard me say this a million times, but here comes 1,000,001. Thank you for all you do. Thank you. It wouldn't be a year-end celebration without a word from my partner in crime, Rosemary Pilch. Rosemary has been on both sides of the basic literacy desk. She has been a tutor and a program manager, and she is our employee with the greatest seniority and institutional memory. And here she is presenting the work of some of her students and tutors. Rosemary.
Hello, thank you very much, Martha. I appreciate it. I am the program manager for the basic literacy side of our program. The students on the basic literacy side of the program are fluent English speakers, but they need our help in improving their reading and writing skills. And I have a couple of stories from a couple of the students in our program. The first one is Ed. Ed works in the Meriden office with his tutor, Jeannie Overby. His essay is called Reaching My Goals. The literacy program has helped me in several ways. I can read street signs when I take the bus. I have been able to practice for my driving test. I am learning to read better so I can read books to my son. I am very happy to be in this program. Our next student is Michael. Michael works also in our Meriden office with his tutor, Carrie Sheldon. One of his personal individual goals for literacy was computer literacy. He wanted to be more comfortable using a computer with computer language. They worked remotely over the summer using Google Drive. So it was a learning experience for both the tutor and the student, and he was able to work on some of his goals at the same time. His essay, My Life. These are some of the changes since I started taking literacy classes with the literacy volunteers. I am more confident in my writing. I use words that are more robust in my writing. I am confident in reading and like longer books. I like to read out loud to myself or with others around. I read faster and better now with more confidence. I read more often and understand so much more. My habits have changed for the better. I am confident to enroll in another class to benefit my education. Also, it improved my skills by reading the screen at the computer better and faster. Reading also gave me more robust vocabulary, which made it easier to get my point across to the listener I am speaking to. And one last student is Magda. Magda already has her high school diploma. With literacy volunteers, that's just one. That could be a goal of an individual student, but we also take students that already have high school equivalencies or their high school diploma when they need to work to improve their reading and writing skills. Magda, a couple of years ago, suffered from an accident, and she's with us to regain some of her reading and writing ability. She worked at the Wallingford Public Library with her tutor, Karen Arata. Then they worked via email and telephone, and now they're working over Zoom. So she's continuing with her tutor. This is Magda's essay. My dreams for the future. I dream of getting a degree in psychology, owning a car, and having my own place. In order to get my degree, I need to work harder in reading and writing. At the same time, I must keep my part-time job for now to save money. I had an accident 2 years ago, and that made it difficult for me to walk. I will need to be more consistent with my exercises. Achieving my dream will take several years. I need to plan to guide me along the way. My tutor told me she will help me with that. I am interested in psychology because when I was little, I wanted to help people in any way that I could. I enjoyed my psychology classes in high school, and I was very interested in how I could understand and empathize with people. My young cousin committed suicide when he was only 11. He was so happy and seemed so strong. We found out later that he was bullied at school and couldn't deal with it. I want to try to stop that from happening to someone else so that kids don't have to go through that. My tutor believes in my dreams and will continue to help me with my reading, language, math, and study skills. and will also help me map the plan to get there. When I imagine the future, I see myself waking up from my very own studio apartment and driving to my office. There, I might be helping a woman to improve her body image and eating plan. There would be others I could help every day in my job as a psychologist. That would be my dream come true. Thanks.
Wow, powerful stuff. We have time for another story. Jenny, if you have the slide of Jamie and Naima, please. Now, Jamie, both of these ladies are our first for literacy volunteers. I invited Jamie to tell the story herself, but she insists she's too camera shy to appear on Zoom, and she gave me her blessing to tell the story. She was actually our first tutor to take the tutor training via the Pro Literacy online training, and she loved it, and she just took right off. She's been a literacy volunteer for almost 2 years, and she tells us that she is sad because she did not join us sooner. She says, "This experience has opened my eyes, opened my heart, and opened my mind. I have heard stories of where these students come from, what some have endured and overcome. I have learned new cultures and new foods. I have learned new traditions and shared mine. I have seen tears from a student who misses her homeland, and laughter and joy when something new is learned. But most of all, I have seen the determination and strength of these students to learn. These students are my heroes, teaching me every day that with strength and determination, love and laughter, we can accomplish anything." Pictured here with Jamie is one of her heroes and one of mine, Naima. Naima is from Morocco. She's probably in her mid-60s now, and she has the distinction of being the first student I did the intake for when I started at Literacy Volunteers 5 years and 2 days ago. Very sad story. Her son told me that her parents died when she was a baby and she was taken in by relatives, and he said, and this gets you, they fed her, that was it. She had never set foot in a classroom of any kind until she came to Literacy Volunteers. She couldn't even read her native Arabic, so she had to be taught from scratch. She worked with a succession of teachers, and Jamie was the last one she worked with. There is a larger class there. Unfortunately, the pandemic doesn't allow large classes, but that expression is very strange for her. Usually when you see her, she's smiling. I don't remember her with a smile not on her face, except when she's focusing hard on her studies. But by the time the pandemic started, she was greeting me in English. She was understanding when we spoke English to her, and she had made progress in writing. You could see some of her short paragraphs in Hear Our Voices. And here's how one of her paragraphs went. "Life is good here. I am happy, and everybody is nice. I love my teacher, going to the store, TV, cooking, and baking. I dream to speak English and be a citizen." And we welcome her with open arms. Now I would like to introduce our leaders. I see him in the room there, Mr. Lou Perno, our executive director, our man in New Haven, who has the happy task of shepherding 6 screaming women, and he does it very well. My hat's off to him. Mr. Lou Perno.
Good afternoon. I hope everyone viewing the United Way Day of Caring, Meriden and Wallingford Hear Our Voices presentation found it most inspiring, and you learned about the impact literacy volunteers makes on adult lives and families in Meriden and Wallingford. I've been executive director at Literacy Volunteers for almost 3 years. And during that time, I think one of the most inspiring programs that I was involved in was our end of the year celebrations. And that, as Martha has explained, that every year in June, usually in Meriden, in the Valley, and in New Haven, we have an event where guests are invited from all of our students and their relatives and friends, and they come and read the essays that they created and we published in our Hear Our Voices publication. We've been doing this for several years. And we thank the United Way this year for having an opportunity to once again recreate our end of the year celebration for our Meriden Wallingford program. And it gave us this opportunity to share our story. I'd like to thank Rosemary and Martha and Jennifer and everyone involved in today's program for enabling this program to show everyone truly what Literacy Volunteers does and the impact it has on the community. But most of all, to learn what students have learned as a result of this project, Hear Our Voices, our annual writing showcase for adult learners tutored by literacy volunteers. In these changed, unimaginably times because of the coronavirus pandemic, I think this year's Hear Our Voices is even more powerful and inspirational than ever. I extend congratulations to each of our students and our tutors in our program, and most importantly, our tutors who worked with them and who are truly the backbone of our program. They have showed them extraordinary dedication and resourcefulness during this challenging time. Because of that, their achievements are all the more remarkable as their testimony to the positive impact that literacy has had on their lives in many ways. Although life as we know it has been upended by COVID-19 almost overnight, what has not changed is the fundamental importance of reading and writing and the ability to clearly communicate and comprehend. As the landscape of everyday life and the road to the future remain unsettled, basic literacy is now more than ever a matter of survival. Literacy Volunteers did not shrink from its mission in the face of the pandemic and remains committed to that work by reimagining the ways tutors interact with students. And we've moved from an in-person tutoring approach to now a remote tutoring approach where we're tutoring students remotely through Zoom and a variety of other technology platforms. Vital support from the United Way and the wider community has enabled literacy volunteers to come closer to our goal, where we envision a future in which the power of literacy enables all adults to thrive in their communities. Because of the United Way and the United Way's support, we are committed more than ever to our mission with a broader outlook. It's crucial that we bring distance learning at this time into the community to support our students, because we believe we're here to save, to strengthen, to rebuild, and transform lives through literacy. Once again, we thank the United Way for this opportunity today and thank everyone involved.
Thank you, Lou. I noticed there's a couple of board members here. Lisa Caston is one of our board members. Hello, Lisa. Betty Brumberg is board vice president. And now a few words from our board chair, Mr. Bill Armstrong, one of our men in New Haven by way of South Carolina, where he is now, and he's speaking to us from South Carolina. Bill.
Yes, hi y'all. How are you? I hope my connection is stable and working here. But so I'll just be brief, and I do just want to thank United Way very much for their wonderful support for all of our different locations. And I'd like to thank Rosemary and Martha and Lou for making Meriden Wallingford programs such a success. And this has just been wonderful. Just like the in-person Hear Our Voices celebrations. it's super inspiring. And like Lou said, it's even more inspiring this year. The board has been working, really hard to get technology and just, the resources and the instruction for all of our students and to help our tutors teach better. But what we found is when the virus first started is that the tutors and the students just kind of took off and were just, and didn't stop for minutes and um, didn't let COVID get in the way of their learning. And the board is just kind of blown away by that. And we find it extremely inspiring. And it just makes us so happy to know that, that we're doing our part to help all these wonderful students to, to be welcome to America and to be able to more and to be able to better participate in their communities. So just thank you so much, students and tutors, for all the inspiration that you give us to go forward. It's really, really just a beautiful thing. Thank you so much.
And a huge thank you to Maria Harlow for all of your hard work on behalf of the United Way and of all of the community partners that depend and rely so much on your kindness. And words really can't describe how grateful we are to you. And what you've done on behalf of SCOW too. Everything's interconnected in this world. Live United is absolutely true, and that's exactly what we all do. A few years ago, Jennifer, I have a nice thank you screen someplace. A few years ago, I told the year-end celebration audience that if you've seen 1 year with literacy volunteers, you've seen 1 year with literacy volunteers. 2020 is 1 year we hope we never see again. Even though I have to say, it did remind us that we all are in this together. We all are getting together. We all are living united. And a reminder like this, you never forget, ever. And I'd like to thank you all for being a part of our audience today. Thank you for going the distance learning with us. Be well, be safe, take good care, and please visit our website and hear our voices online. Jenny, I have the slide. Yeah, there you go. It's right on our webpage, and make sure you have a box of Kleenex next to you when you read it. Okay, enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the beautiful fall weather, and thank you again. And everybody, take good care.
If you don't mind, I would like to say something really quick. Is it us, is the United Way, the one that is very grateful to you for allowing us to do this? To me, I'm an immigrant myself, so an event like this and the work that you do is particularly inspiring to me. To the students, thank you for sharing those beautiful stories. I appreciate the journey that you go through, and I appreciate the effort that it takes to learn the language and to make this beautiful country your home. To the tutors, I can thank you. I can't say enough about my admiration for your love and for your dedication. And because of the work that you do, you change your students' lives for the better. To literacy volunteers, you are the most beautiful organization that there is. Well, no, there are many other beautiful organizations, but literacy volunteers, the work that you do is so absolutely beautiful. I met Rosemary since when I moved to Wallingford. Right after I met Martha, and then I met Lou, and you guys work, you're tenacious, you work with your heart, And you are, all of you, this group of people, including the tutors and including everybody else, are the perfect example of why this country is so beautiful. This is America. This is what it makes it so beautiful. So thank you from the bottom of my heart to you guys for allowing us to share this beautiful event. That's it.
Thank you very much to all of you. Yes, on behalf of all the staff here at the United Way of Meriden and Wallingford, I would like to thank you for joining us today and also remind you that this was live streamed on the Literacy Volunteers of Greater New Haven Facebook page, so you can share it and still comment on it and have more to see if you would like to repeat it. Thank you once again, Martha, all the members of the Literacy Volunteers of Greater New Haven. We appreciate having you be part of our Day of Caring this year. And we thank as well our virtual audience for being here today with us. And we hope you have a wonderful day and continue joining us on our following skill trainings that we will still have today. That is all, and we'll see you on another occasion. Thank you.